In a world ever turning on its axis, where the sands of time dance to the rhythms of life's cycles, our existence plays out. With the sun rising and setting, marking the ceaseless dance of day into night, we experience the ethereal ballet of the seasons, shifting from one to another. These are changes that, like the beating of a heart, occur in swift succession, almost predictable to the point of monotony. However, nestled within the folds of Earth's mysteries are events that stretch across vast intervals of time. These events, often elusive, bear witness to forces so immense that their mere existence defies comprehension. A long time ago, in another tale I narrated, I delved into the mystifying realm of the Milankovitch cycles. These cycles, which dictate the ebb and flow of ice ages interspersed with warming epochs, act over a span so grand that most mortals, like you and I, would scarcely feel their touch in our fleeting lifetimes. But, dear reader, as the curtains of this tale rise, be prepared to encounter a phenomenon that will touch you, whispering secrets in your ear, the famed El Niño Southern Oscillation. To the layman, these might be simply known as El Niño and La Niña. Born in the cradle of the vast Pacific, the whispers of El Niño and La Niña stretch far and wide, reaching every hidden nook and cranny of our world. Recent annals of history reveal an alarming trend. The ferocity of their message grows stronger. Just a few decades past, their fiery rage and chilling embrace brought forth calamities such as floods, devastating droughts, famines, and even mass extinctions beneath the waves. A particularly fierce tempest in the year 1998 bore witness to the wrath of El Niño. Close to a sixth of the world's ethereal coral reefs, those underwater gardens of wonder, met a cruel end. This tragic death dance led to a chain of events, a cataclysmic bleaching spectacle that has haunted our oceans ever since. And now, you might wonder, who are these formidable forces named El Niño and La Niña? How did their destinies intertwine, and what mark do they leave upon our Earth? I am Alex McColgan, your guide through this astral journey. Journey with me as we unearth legends from times gone by. Before mankind had the wisdom to comprehend the magnificence of these climatic ballets, they were already the stuff of myths. If the name El Niño resonates with the cadence of an old folk tale rather than a chapter from a scientific tome, your intuition serves you right. In the 17th century, fisher folk spoke of times when the waters warmed mysteriously, disrupting their catch especially around the Yuletide. They christened this phenomenon El Niño de la Navidad, the child of the Nativity, reminiscent of the Christmas lore. Fast forward a few centuries, to the cusp between the 19th and 20th. Scholars and visionaries began to weave together a myriad of disparate events from across the globe. And by the time the world was halfway through the 20th century, a revelation dawned. These were not mere isolated events, but pulsations from a global heart, the El Niño Southern Oscillation. This dance, the ENSO, has a rhythm that beats on average every 5 years. Yet its unpredictable nature sees it sometimes hastening in 2 years, or leisurely stretching over 7. Though our chronicles have recorded these rhythms for mere decades, their song has echoed for eons. To fathom the depths of the El Niño Southern Oscillation, we must first journey to the Pacific's heart, under what we deem normalcy. Here, winds, like celestial messengers, travel across the equator from the east to the west. This dance, dear reader, is choreographed by the Coriolis effect, a cosmic ballet directed by Earth's own spin. An intriguing aside to ponder, were it not for our Earth's dance, the winds would trace a path from the poles, those realms of cold desolation, to the equator's warm embrace. But with Earth's twist, the winds too find their paths curving, bending, and swirling in a waltz as they approach the equator. And so, the tale unfolds. In the great atmospheric theater that stretches 30 degrees north and south of the equator, there exists a realm sometimes whispered of as the horse latitudes. Within this expanse, the northern hemisphere's breath sways southwestward, while the southern hemisphere's gusts beckon northwest. This westward-bound zephyr earns the name, the trade winds. Though tales from bygone eras may speak of these winds in hushed tones, reminiscing about their significance for pirates of the 18th century, their modern-day implications are equally profound. As these trade winds sweep westerly across the vast Pacific's expanse, they shepherd warm waters from the shores of South America to the distant coasts of Asia. In this grand migration of warmth, cooler waters rise from the depths in a beautiful ballet known as upwelling. Emerging from the abyss, these cold waters carry the elixir of life, nutrients. These nutrients, like treasures from the deep, sustain phytoplankton. These minute marine entities, in turn, form the bedrock of marine ecosystems, nourishing fish and everything that relies on them. A mere hiccup in this intricate dance could cascade into a tidal wave of change, toppling the marine world's delicate balance. Now let's imagine this normalcy of the Pacific, and then let's picture a spanner in the works. Enter El Niño. In these moments, the normally robust trade winds falter and wane. The warm waters that should journey towards Asia instead loiter near the Americas. This results in lesser cold water rising from the depths, shifting the zone of warmth eastward. As the undercurrents of life wane, the fish that thrive upon phytoplankton are left with two choices: migrate or perish. Above the waves, the Pacific jet stream, which graces North America, meanders southward from its regular path. Consequences: the northern stretches of the United States and the vast expanse of Canada find themselves basking in warmth and yearning for rains. In stark contrast, regions like the Gulf Coast and extensive parts of South America brace for torrential downpours. Countries like Peru and Ecuador, usually drenched between April and October, find themselves overwhelmed during intense El Niño episodes. During the monumental El Niño event of the years 1997 and 1998, Peru bore witness to nature's fury, floods that razed bridges and buried entire settlements beneath a thick mud veil. An astounding 250,000 souls found themselves without the sanctuary of home. The Tums region, typically a land of dry whispers, was deluged with rainfall, amounting to an almost mythical 16-fold of its annual average. But the ripples of El Niño are not confined to the Americas. On the global stage, it plays puppet master, rearranging weather patterns with an almost mischievous glee. The torrents that bless South America are starkly juxtaposed by the parched cries of South Asia and Australia. Historical annals recount tales of severe famines in India. Meanwhile, Australia's delayed monsoons often fan the flames of its infamous bushfires. The year 2023 looms heavy with such dark predictions. Recall the haunting imagery of 2020. That year, even without the specter of El Niño hovering, Australia's landscapes were transformed into nightmarish wastelands, with 50 million acres scorched beyond recognition. With the threat of El Niño hanging like a Damocles sword, the Australian realm remains ever vigilant. But to understand El Niño is to understand its capricious nature. Not every dance of El Niño scorches and burns. Some are mere gentle waltzes. While the global average temperature does edge up by a fraction during its reign, its duration and intensity can vary. Typically, El Niño's spell lasts between 9 to 12 months. Yet there have been legends of its presence lingering for years. In the grand tapestry of our world's climate, myriad threads interweave, creating a pattern that's as complex as it's beautiful. El Niño is but one such thread. Its impact, ever relative, ensures that each El Niño episode scripts a unique chapter in the annals of Earth's history. While El Niño may be likened to a tempestuous force, its counterpart in the climatic duet, La Niña, brings forth a contrasting refrain. If El Niño can be visualized as the fervor of heat, La Niña emerges as the serenity of cold, albeit with pockets of warmth in certain regions, akin to winter's sporadic sunbeams. Remember our earlier discourse on El Niño, wherein the equatorial trade winds lose their tenacity. With La Niña, the scenario takes a twist. These trade winds don't just regain their strength, they intensify, becoming more vigorous than ever. If El Niño is the grand deviation from the norm, La Niña might well be termed as hypernormality. The trade winds, reinvigorated, shepherd even greater volumes of warm waters from the coasts of South America all the way to Asia. This fervent movement stirs the oceanic depths, ushering in an enhanced upwelling of cold, nutrient-laden waters closer to the American shores. For marine life, this presents a banquet. Fishermen would tell tales of waters teeming with life during these times. Lovers of salmon, prepare for a treat. In the cold embrace of La Niña, species like salmon, typically shy of warmer waters, find themselves emboldened, venturing into territories where they wouldn't usually dare. And for those whose palate leans toward the exotic, even squids, yes, those creatures destined to become delectable calamari, mirror this adventurous spirit. Asia, with its vibrant tapestry of cultures and climates, feels La Niña's touch profoundly. The usually arid landscapes are quenched by increased rainfall, a refreshing reprieve from the parched days of El Niño. Yet nature's equilibrium mandates balance. With this wetness comes a surge in tropical cyclones, nature's whirlwind dance. Shifting our gaze to North America, the jet stream, that sinuous atmospheric river, meanders even further north. Such a trajectory leaves the southwestern United States thirsting for water, while the Pacific Northwest finds itself drenched. A poignant memory from the year 2022 brings forth images of La Niña intensifying an already severe megadrought in the Southwest, rendering it the gravest in over a millennium. Cast your mind to Lake Mead, the majestic reservoir cradled by the Hoover Dam. There, a pale stretch, eerily named the Bathtub Ring, stands exposed, a testament to the water levels that once were. But what of the tempests and hurricanes, those mighty atmospheric juggernauts? La Niña's influence is a tapestry of contrasts. While the Atlantic girds itself for fiercer hurricane seasons, a consequence of increased atmospheric instability in the South Atlantic, the Pacific Basin breathes a tad easier with a diminished hurricane count. However, a word of caution to those residing along the Pacific. The pendulum swings both ways. The wrath of El Niño stands as a stark contrast to the calm of La Niña. In Pacific coastal South America, memories of warm Christmastime waters, which once led fishermen to christen the phenomenon El Niño de la Navidad, fade into the background. The name La Niña was historically juxtaposed with El Viejo, translating to the old man. A fitting nomenclature, for during La Niña's reign, regions like Peru and Chile are swathed in a colder, drier embrace, sometimes plunging them into harsh droughts. Yet, as is nature's way, contrast prevails. The northern territories of Brazil find respite in enhanced rainfall from December to February, while Bolivia's lowlands brace for inundations that can only be described as biblical. Africa, the cradle of humankind, also feels the tugs and pulls of the El Niño Southern Oscillation, ENSO dance. Under the watchful eyes of La Niña, Africa's climate experiences a sort of reversal of its disposition during El Niño. East Africa, a region rich in biodiversity and cultural heritage, finds itself thirsting for rains, grappling with conditions drier than its usual temperament. Conversely, the southern reaches of the continent receive a bounty of rainfall, often more generous than what's typical for them. Now, one might wonder where precisely we stand in this ever-evolving ENSO tapestry. At the moment this narrative is being crafted, the venerable National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, often referred to by its abbreviation, NOAA, has rung down the curtain on an extended La Niña phase that spanned over 18 months. How did NOAA arrive at this conclusion, you ask? The linchpin lies in the measurements of surface atmospheric pressure variances between the western and eastern Pacific. This pivotal metric, christened the Equatorial Southern Oscillation Index, or EQSOI for short, serves as a trusted barometer. The most recent EQSOI reading hints at a near equilibrium, standing at a mere 0.1, a significant decline from one the year prior, signaling a return to climatic neutrality. Yet, as with all things nature, certainty is elusive. Even though the evidence is preliminary, There are murmurings that suggest the resurgence of El Niño in the year 2023. NOAA's seasoned meteorologists anticipate a 60% likelihood that El Niño will grace our world by autumn. The implications of this are vast and varied, with nations like India already priming their populace for potential dry spells. Interestingly, historical records serve as a guiding light too. Since humanity began monitoring these climatic oscillations in the 1950s, there hasn't been a single instance of El Niño giving Earth a miss for more than 4 consecutive years. Thus, if 2023 remains devoid of an El Niño event, it would shatter this long-standing pattern, marking an unprecedented 5-year hiatus. Such phenomena offer a masterclass in climate literacy. The ENSO, with its rhythmic oscillations, serves as a powerful reminder of the myriad ways in which understanding climatic cycles can bolster human resilience and adaptability, not just on Earth, but potentially across the vast cosmic expanse. One of the true marvels of the ENSO lies in the profound insights it offers into the intricate mechanisms of Earth's climate. Should humankind ever aspire to inhabit, or even reshape other celestial bodies like Mars, Mercury, Venus, or our very own Moon, or perhaps distant exoplanets in the Milky Way, our triumph will hinge on our grasp of the myriad forces and feedback loops that weave the fabric of climate systems and biospheres. While such ventures might seem the stuff of science fiction today, the future beckons, and dreams are the seeds of tomorrow's reality. To wrap up this discourse on the El Niño Southern Oscillation, it's evident that while ENSO can occasionally wreak havoc, life on Earth has always exhibited a remarkable knack for adaptation. The year 2023 promises to enrich our understanding further, adding another chapter to this ongoing saga. It's clear that the rhythms of our planet are both fascinating and impactful. The dance between El Niño and La Niña is just one of the many marvels of our world. If you've been captivated by this climatic tale, then let's keep the conversation flowing. So, has the dance of El Niño or La Niña touched your shores or skies? Any peculiar climatic shifts you've observed in your corner of the world? Your tales, experiences, and insights would be invaluable. As I delved deeper into this topic, it became clear that a refresher on global weather systems was not only desirable but essential. Tap that like button if you found this enlightening, and share your own weather tales or observations in the comments below. We're a community of curious minds, and your insights add richness to this tapestry of knowledge. And if you haven't already, don't forget to hit subscribe. Together, we'll journey deeper into the mysteries of our world and beyond. Stay curious, and thanks for being a part of our channel's story.